Hello everyone, welcome to today's dogfight video. I'll be switching it up, leaving my usual F-4E in the hangar. We're taking out the remastered F-5. Had some snags getting the liveries dialed in, but no worries, saddled up, and now we're going up against an F-86 Sabre. It's kind of interesting how, even though the F-86 is significantly less advanced than many of the other jets in this game, it is a real tough opponent. And I've seen quite a few videos of people flying way more advanced stuff losing to this airplane. So taking it up against an F-5 is a total experiment here. Go to the merge here. Using some gravity here to put some more G's down as we use some vertical maneuvers. You'll see me make a couple of BFM errors on this topic, but I want to just lay out at the beginning that the F-86 in most regimes that this fight's going to happen and is going to outturn the F-5. So the goal here is essentially to fly the F-5 just like it's an F4, which is to say, stay fast, use the vertical, don't try to get into a turn fight with the F-86 because, as noted, the Sabre can outturn just about anything in the game at medium to low airspeeds. So it's an easy thing to forget when you're flying in something as maneuverable as the F-5, right? It's such a lightweight, agile plane versus something like an F4 that's pretty much an aerial muscle car. So maintaining that strategy of staying fast and kind of using vertical and high-speed transitions to win the fight, it's an easy thing to overlook when you're in something like this. Because normally in most BFM fights, it's the F5 that's the tight-turning aggressor, not the one that has to use energy. So we go up in the vertical, F-86 stalled out, and then unfortunately I get greedy here, pull just a little too hard to meet the nose and cash in a little too much energy, probably more than I wanted to here, but I'm still able to maintain some vertical position advantage. Note here that I'm using mostly the rudder to turn the F-5. Like most high-speed swept-wing airplanes, once you get below a certain airspeed, horizontal maneuvers are best accomplished with the rudder, and the F-5's rudder is very agreeable. So you'll see me do this a little bit later when things get really slow, but once you start feeling the stick get a bit heavy with maneuvering and the plane doesn't want to respond to you, it's time to start feeding in some rudder so you can work the nose around. There's aerodynamic reasons why that's the case. I'm not going to go into it here, but long story short, when you pull on the stick in an airplane like this and you start not getting ideal responses, that's your cue to start using the rudder, something that will definitely come in handy when the upcoming F-100 hits the game. I'm going to be very excited when that comes out. I lined up, pre-ordered it, because that's going to be cool. It's one of the unknown workhorses of the Vietnam War. And speaking of war, dodged some tracer fire here. Not ideal. Got a little slow there. But before we get back to the fight, I just want to wrap up that the F-100 is one of the highest sortie airplanes in Vietnam. So looking forward to that. Coming back to the fight here, getting some tracers. Again, not ideal. This is what happens when you get greedy and you get slow against something like an F-86. That little airplane can maneuver, turn, and roll with you all day, every day when you're below 300 something knots. So not a good idea to try to play horizontal games with an airplane like this, and that's why I wound up on the wrong end of this guy's tracers. But I was able to use the rudder, keep the nose high, dodge those, and use the vertical here to gain a position advantage. So now, to recover from my error, I'm just going to point the nose behind the F-86 and bid lag. Again, got a ballistic reminder that the F-5 cannot turn with an F-86 horizontally, so I'm not going to try. I'm just going to keep the nose in lag and stay behind him, gain some knots. Much as I would love to just yank the nose and punch off a Sidewinder at him right now, not the this isn't really a good environment to do it. So one of the good things about flying the F4, and I suspect this will be true of the F-100 too when it comes out, as well as the F-5, is that these older airplanes force you to be patient. A lot of the 4th gen stuff, you kind of get into this quick turn, yank the nose around, high off bore sight, shoot, bye-bye bandit kind of deal. And unfortunately, I think if you do too much of that, you don't learn how to truly maneuver the airplane like you do in these older generation aircraft. So see here, he makes a maneuver mistake there when I kind of jinked left, made him think I was turning in, and then rolled the rudder the other way. So now once again, we're going to use the vertical here, come off the power and the roll, come back on, and now we're behind him again. So I've said it before, again I'll say it here, you don't want to try to get aggressive when you're flying a 3rd or 4th generation jet against something like an F-86. And some of you might actually find this a bit relevant because the MiG-17 is coming to the game. That's another one that I'm looking forward to seeing as an opponent, and this is how you have to fight those kind of airplanes. You can't yank and bank and try to stay with them. If you do that, just skip back to earlier in the video to see what happens when you try that. So he's gonna, right now I'm in front, but it's not a big concern here because I do have some vertical advantage, which I'm now going to cash in off the power, roller in, now back on. You notice every time the F-86 does its flat horizontal turn, its magic horizontal turns, I just go up. I'm not going to try to yank the nose at him, and when I do get back on him, I'm trying not to get greedy here. The F5's kind of buffeting here. I don't want to ask too much of the airplane right now. Could go for a low probability missile shot here, but not going to happen. It's an AIM-9B I got on here right now, so that's not going to work. Take a quick cannon burst. Didn't think that was going to hit. That's why I didn't really hold down the trigger much. One of the things that the F4 also has taught me is be patient. You can't yank and bang, quick turn and get a kill in something like that. You got to take your time. You have to use your maneuvers. You have to really balance your energy. And it's kind of something that modern jets don't have to worry about, because if you're low on energy, you just move that little stick on the left side of your cockpit and your energy problems are instantaneously solved because you're flying something that has a greater than 1-to-1 thrust. Not the case with these airplanes. So yep, you've all seen me do this before. You'll see me do it again. Every time he zooms up and tries to get cute, we're just going to point the F5 up. So now we're going to unload, regain some knots here. So even if you are somebody who is, your favorite jet is an F-15E or a F-15C or something that's powerful and has all the missiles and the Gucci stuff, I would recommend getting an F5, getting the F-100, getting F4, one of those old school jets. Maybe even the F-104 could also be categorized this way too. But those planes, you have to be smart with your energy, and managing your energy makes you just a better pilot overall. And that's just going to improve your skill a lot more than just pointing at, pushing buttons on screens and doing it that way. So now we're going to, capitalize on the F5's power advantage here. I'm going to just basically walk up in him, just slot it into his control zone. Now I'm going to deliberately put the airplane behind him in low. I'm not trying to line up directly behind him. I'm going to stay low and underneath him so he can't see me. And I'm just going to zoom up here, back off the gas a little. All right. One of the other things that I've learned in flying the F4 is don't try any of these low probability snapshots you see online. I mean, yeah, that looks cool for footage, but for day-to-day business in BFM, take your time. You're probably not going to kill him on the first cannon pass. That's fine. Just stay low and then just walk up behind him. Again, we don't want to just zoom right up next to the bandit because then he'll see us and he'll maneuver, which we don't want. So we're going to stay low and behind him so he can't look behind to see me until it's too late. And there we go. Scratch one bandit. So lessons to recap here. 1, be patient with that gun. Don't try to be an internet hero and, get a quick kill with a snapshot that cashes in all your energy and leaves you vulnerable. Be smart, be patient, wait until the bandit fills your gun sight, and even then, just wait a little bit longer, then pull the trigger. Take the shot when you know you can get the hits. Next, just be conservative, manage your energy, stay in the vertical when you're fighting a more maneuverable bandit, and just be patient. If you apply these techniques and learn to conserve your energy, you'll be a better pilot in general. You'll be able to fly your airplanes, even the Gucci stuff, even better. And I think you'll be a much better aviator overall than somebody who just looks out the window, pulls the trigger, and off goes your off-bore sight missile, right? I mean, yeah, that stuff's fun, and there's a reason it exists, and the technology's moved that way. But building skill, flying the old-fashioned way, has its place too. So thank you all for tuning in. If you like my content here, consider subscribing so you'll be notified of my next upload.